This is my Sony RXD7. Bought this when I was 20. It's pretty much the first expensive thing I bought after getting my first part-time job whilst I was at uni. It stopped working about 10 years ago. I've never got rid of it because it's got sentimental value. It's since been replaced with a fancy Marantz stack system, which you can see there. But yeah, I've decided recently to fix this up. There's three things wrong with it. The tape drives don't work anymore. The volume control on the unit doesn't work, but the one on the remote does. And the eject mechanism for this tray has stopped working as well. So this video is going to be about that one. Going to get that fixed today. Before I get started, I would say don't try this if you don't know what you're doing. Even if you've disconnected this from the mains, which you should have done obviously, there are still charge capacitors in here that can do you harm. So if you don't know what you're doing, leave it to somebody else. So disclaimer out of the way. We'll take the case off. So 3 screws on each side and then 3 screws on the back. Okay, case off. So what's wrong with this is there's some belts like the one you can see here that drive certain things in this, and they've perished over time or lost their elasticity, and that's why this whole tray mechanism isn't working. That one there is actually for turning this wheel that has all the CDs on it, and that one is actually working. It's one underneath here that is the problem, which is why this tray won't come out. So I got the service manual, and this is pretty straightforward to do. The only thing that I did find a bit confusing is it says, step 1 is to remove the case. Step 2 over here tells you about turning a cam in the direction of the arrow, but the trouble is that cam sits underneath this tray, but above this white plastic here, it's sandwiched between the two. So I was a bit confused as to how you do that before removing the tray. But in the end, I worked out that it is, if you can just see at the back of this circle here, you can't really see it there, but there's a cog there. There's some gears that you can get your finger on, and if you turn those, it affects the actual CD mechanism. So if I turn it, you should be able to see the actual mechanism moving up and down there. And what the service manual is trying to tell you is that this mechanism has to be fully down, so it has to be fully turned so you can't turn it anymore, and the CD player module is at its lowest point. And once you've done that, you can actually just pull this forward. And then we can see the belt underneath that is the problem. So it's still intact, it doesn't perish that much, but it's lost its elasticity. If I take this off, you can see that it's, well, you perhaps can't tell in the video, but it's pretty loose. It's not that tight anymore. So I bought some replacements off eBay, which you can see there. So it comes with that large one, but it also comes with the smaller one for here. So I'm going to replace that at the same time. That one is working, but you can tell it's on its way out because it does make a bit of a noise whilst it's doing it. So I'll just get those two replaced and then we'll see if that fixes it. So all done. I've temporarily plugged the power in just so that you can see it working. So now when I turn the power on, there is a bit of a noise, and what that is we've got the same belt problem with the tape drive. So one of the tape drives, when it first comes on, makes a bit of a noise, but it's nothing to do with the CD module. So I've turned it on. So we can see obviously that carousel mechanism is working fine, and also now the CD mechanism is working fine, the eject mechanism.